A conservative writer has been fired for attacking gay journalists, but not just any gay journalist. Ethical and outstanding journalist Yashar Ali. This is a pretty crummy story, but there's a lot of nuance here in the debate about free speech and what you can or can't say. I think it's really important. The first thing I want to point out, we have the story from the Washington Examiner. Conservative Denise McAllister fired from the Federalist after attacking gay journalist. There was a bit of a back and forth between something that Denise McAllister tweeted and then Yashar Ali responded. She said several things that were like gradually getting more and more crude and offensive. Now here's the thing. First and foremost, I always want to say the reason I believe one of the most important reasons people should be allowed to have their free speech is so that we know what they think. I also think we should recognize sometimes people say things and they shouldn't, and sometimes they just kind of blurts out and then they regret it and it was a mistake. The issue is, if someone for a long time has a repeated history of saying these things throughout history and to this day, I'm glad I know that they continually hold and say these things. I don't like hate speech. I detest it. But I'd prefer to hear it so I can know to avoid certain people who I think are probably bad people. I also recognize sometimes people like Roseanne tweet something and then go, I shouldn't have done that. That was a mistake. I'm so sorry. And you shouldn't destroy their lives because of it. But this is a really contentious issue, I suppose, here. Denise McAllister made a few different tweets. First and foremost, Yashar Ali is a really, really good dude. He recently did this huge thread exposing that a managing editor for NBC and MSNBC was working at the behest of the DNC. That kind of ethics you find in short supply. This is a good person who doesn't deserve to be attacked and insulted simply for who they choose to love in such a crude and crass manner. Honestly, I don't think anybody should be attacked. But it is complicated. Let's read the story, and then I want to give you my thoughts on... I lean absolutely in favor... Okay, let me say this. I think she got something like removed from the Daily Wire by Ben Shapiro, and she's been fired over this. But I think it goes beyond just the idea of being a hateful person or hate speech. This has to do with potential business and political ramifications beyond just hate speech. So let's read this, and then I'll explain the nuance. The Federalist has parted ways with conservative commenter Denise McAllister after she sent out a deluge of incendiary tweets. In response to your many inquiries, we've spoken, and Denise McAllister will not be writing for us at the Federalist anymore, said Ben Domenech, publisher of the conservative website, in a tweet at 1 a.m. Domenech is married to Meghan McCain, with whom McAllister tussled via Twitter last week, resulting in McCain's much-cited retort, "You were at my wedding, Denise." Hours before firing, McAllister incited vigorous backlash with a flurry of tweets focused on Yashar Ali, a journalist who last week accused the managing editor of politics for NBC and MSNBC, Daphne Linzer, of trying to bully me on behalf of the Democratic National Committee. Specifically, those tweets focused on the fact that Ali is gay. A gay man commenting on a heterosexual relationship is just sad. Pathetic, she said in one tweet late Saturday. She said again, I think Yashar has a crush on me. Maybe, and then she says that she thinks she's making him doubt him being gay. I don't want to read her quotes because I don't appreciate what she's saying about Yashar. And then here's one that's just really, really bad. I don't want to read it. I'll read some of it. She said, "Oh, so sad. Yashar is lost. He doesn't know his purpose as a man. He doesn't know his purpose as a human being. He doesn't know his purpose as an individual. So he wallows and tries to find himself in another man's." I'm not gonna read that mostly because people take these quotes from me and try and reattribute them, but I definitely think McAllister crossed the line, especially when someone like Yashar has been so good to people across the political spectrum. And that's what really, really makes me angry. Listen, when I see really nasty people get attacked for certain characteristics, it bothers me. Because when you, let's say you have like a regressive leftist saying stupid things, and then someone says, haha, but you're X. Dude, you just lost the argument. That's a bad thing. We're trying to have the best ideas possible. We're trying to fix things and make things better. Whatever you do in your private time is on you, and I don't think we should drag you for it. We should drag people for their bad ideas and then come up with better ideas and prove why our ideas are better. That makes the most sense. So for McAllister to drag Yashar simply over the fact that he's gay is just, it's crossing a line. But she did it 3 times, and she really crossed the line. And more importantly, it makes things especially worse when you realize that Yashar has been good, honest, and he's held his integrity as a journalist on really important issues, even pointing out the risk he took when he decided to publish the fact that the NBC managing editor was working at the behest of Democrats. That's huge. We need people to be willing to stand up and say, this is an important idea. When she comes out and attacks him, she does a few things. From a business standpoint, first of all, you've got the political aspect. I'll start with there. Going after Yashar, who aided a conservative political viewpoint, you're insane. What are you doing, right? Attacking someone who just helped you, okay? But by all means, you can have your opinions. However, recognize that for the Federalist and for the Daily Wire, I think the Daily Wire, I'm not entirely sure because this is just about the Federalist, she is damaging their business relationships with honorable and ethical people. And that you can't have that. While I certainly think she shouldn't be banned for anything she says, which some people might report her for, I recognize why the Federalist is going to say, dude, we're not having this. You can't do this. Like, you're done. She's not elevating ideas, and she's not winning the battle of ideas for conservatives or for people who hold the views they do. She's in fact just dragging everybody down with this rhetoric. I'm not surprised that you'll see conservative outlets wanting to win and prove that their ideas are good, so they get rid of her. There you go. There's a big difference, however, because the left loves to take this and say, now they're firing someone for hate speech. Yes, but listen, banning someone for hate speech is very, very different. Banning someone, here's the thing too. I also think if she came out and apologized and walked it back and said it was completely inappropriate and deleted the tweets, then I think maybe she should be allowed to keep working, right? It's a tough situation. I gotta admit, I do not appreciate what she's saying, okay? Because I think Yashar is a really good dude, especially with his willingness to stand up and push back on the DNC, who I really don't like. Let's read a little bit more. Ali shared a screenshot of her tweet and explained how he is proud of who he is. He said that I was bullied for being Iranian as a kid, but I've never felt ashamed of my ethnicity. I came out on 8/17/2001, and while it hasn't always been easy, I've always been proud of who I am. I'm Iranian, gay, and Catholic. Perhaps an odd combo, but wouldn't change who I am for the world, he said. And I don't care about any of that. I don't care about your religion and what you want to believe. You do your own private thing, so long as you're not violent. I don't care about who you choose to love or who you do love. Sorry, I don't want to imply as a choice. But I'm saying I don't want to come after someone over who they love and how they feel. Your private life, your decision. What I want to focus on, and why I think it's really important to make sure we elevate these conversations, is the ideas of how we can all live together. If we have people going around ragging on each other nonstop in the worst possible way, it's going to make things really, really bad. And you actually lose your argument. Unfortunately, I think for some people, there is only one argument, and it's, are you in my tribe or not? And this is true for some people on the right, but I predominantly see this with the regressive left. When you come after someone like Yashar, who is honest, but you do it in a way that, my God, whatever your opinion is on free speech or whatever, I hope the Trump people and the conservatives actually recognize too that she's seriously hurting your argument for, free expression and winning the battle of ideas. Because at the end of the day, like Ben Shapiro says, it's not about color, it's about ideology, right? And I think it extends beyond that. Like if Yashar believes all these things, or if Yashar is gay, Catholic, Iranian, I don't care. Is he going to try and beat people with a pipe over the head? Is he going to sit down and have an honest conversation? He does the latter. Therefore, let's leave the nonsense out of it. I don't care what you're doing in your private life. I don't care if you're kneeling in one direction or praying in one direction. I care that at the end of the day, we can live together, shake hands, and crack open a beer and just live peacefully and figure out how to solve our problems. So McAllister faced a torrent of backlash, including from fellow conservatives. She said, "Oh my, I criticized one gay dude because he attacked me, and my respect for real masculinity burned me at the stake. I'm quivering and laughing at all of you." And so here's the thing. I really don't like the idea of people getting fired over saying something, in one stupid, heated moment. But it definitely, she keeps going. She didn't want to back down. She wanted to say this is who she was. They started going after, S.E. Cupp, who criticized her. And there you have it. Yashar said, "He's right, I slipped. Oh, Denise." McAllister said, "Trying to talk to my husband while Carolina is playing. He looks at me and says, 'Woman, you know better than this. The game is on. He's right, I slipped.' Commercial comes on. I fetch him a beer. He grabs me. Deep kisses, patience, and timing, ladies. That's the lesson." Yashar said, "I guess Denise is not happy that I'm worried about how her husband treats her." So what prompted her to go after Yashar was kind of who cares? But let's just wrap this up because apparently Denise just made a bunch of tweets. I gotta admit, this is a tough situation. But I'll end by saying this. I don't care about Meghan McCain. I'll end by saying this. I lean left. I detest hate speech, and I think you lose your argument when you attack someone for things that don't matter. When I'm on Twitter and I say, hey, here's what should and shouldn't be, and someone says, you're bald, or, whatever, you have crooked teeth or something, I'm like, you're literally not arguing with me, right? I don't care what you say to me. I'm not going to get offended. But don't be surprised if people say you're making us look bad because you can't actually defend your arguments. And this is one of the things that bothers me the most about identitarianism. They're not arguing, right? So this is in a similar vein. It's what really bothers me about hate speech. Attacking Yashar for his characteristics, you're not engaging in actual ideas. You found something that has nothing to do with anything, and you just started throwing it in his face, and it's probably just like for emotional points. So I gotta say though, you know what? It's tough. I think this is like one thing she's done. Should she be fired? I guess I'll ask you guys. I will say this. I understand why the Federalist got rid of her. Because it's like I pointed out. She's not elevating their ideas and not winning them any points. She's making them look bad by doing this. It's a silly argument you often see among identitarians, so to play this game just puts you in a bad spot. So I understand. But I don't know how I would respond. Suspension, maybe? Like ask him to apologize or clarify or something? But comment and let me know what you think, because, when it comes to issues, with all things, there's nuance, right? And I know there's going to be a lot of people on the left who say that she should be fired, she's a bigot, and all these other things, and it's like, yeah, but listen, man. I always say when I see big stories like this, like, what do you want to do? Should she starve? Should she not be allowed to work anymore? Like, what's your solution to when people say naughty things? If she's going to continue to make them look bad, don't be surprised when you get fired. Plain and simple. But there's a big difference between working for a company, reflecting poorly on them, and being active on Twitter, which is the public space where we debate, right? So anyway, let me know what you think, and we'll, these conversations are good to figure out what should and shouldn't be done. Maybe it's an apology, maybe it's termination. Comment below. I got some more videos coming up in a few minutes. I will see you then.